Hello and welcome to the Low Code Campfire for Friday, May 17th, 2024. I'm Patrick Anderson. I'm not Dale, and it looks like I failed to edit the title of this form last week, so I will do that afterwards. Anyway, uh, the Low Code Campfire is a gathering of people who use Plantain app. We do this weekly on Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time for me. So we get together and we share things with each other. We really encourage everyone of any skill level to come and ask questions or to be here to help others or to just share something that you discovered that was cool while using Plantain app. So we love participation. We record all the webinars, as this one is being recorded right now, and then we post them to YouTube so that the content we discuss while we're having our very lively discussions will be there for you to go back and look at later, and so you don't have to necessarily be taking notes the entire time because it'll be on YouTube for you. And we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get notifications when we've posted the webinar, and you can do that by scanning the QR code that's on the screen right now. Our agenda is always pretty simple. We'll start with a round of introductions when I get done with my spiel here, and then we'll do a first call and look at submitted topics. And then I don't think we have any new contributions to the Campfire website, so we probably won't do that one today. We'll look at feature requests. We'll look at low code development playbook ideas. And if we get there, we'll look at we'll talk about dark corners and ghost stories. And then we'll adjourn and stop the recording. And then anybody who wants to stick around, we will have a less formal discussion afterwards. So yes, as I've mentioned already, please jump in and participate. There's just a couple things that we ask is that if you have noise in the background and you're not talking, please mute and be courteous to each other. You can submit questions and topics ahead of time by scanning this QR code here. And with that, I'll say good morning to all.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Nice crowd we have here today. Don't see anybody new, so I won't put anybody on the spot. Dale likes to do that. He likes to put the newcomers on the spot. All right, cool. Now we'll jump right in and say we'll open up for first call. Does anybody have anything they want to jump in with? I do have, if nobody wants to jump in right away, I did get an idea from Matt yesterday about some stuff we can discuss, and I have actually something I want to go a topic from a couple campfires ago that I want to go back to for just a minute, but we can get to those after anybody else jumps in.
As long as it's a brief answer, it seldom is, but as long as it is, and I don't take everybody off track, something that a client is asking for is an app. And they already have a website and they're using EasyDNN News, and they would like an app that shows events on, I know that EasyDNN News just released a new module that creates apps, but really all it's doing is it's creating a shortcut to a browser to go to the website.
Yeah,
so
which doesn't...
it's not quite an app. It's not what the customer wants. I mean, it's a cool capability if somebody says, I want an app to do that. And it to the unknowing folks, they have a button on their screens, so they think they have an app, and that's great. But since it is EasyDNN News, and since Plantain app has a a couple of actions that can read the EasyDNN news functions, I thought it would be a good idea to just let them continue to use EasyDNN for registering for creating their events on their website. But then the app would go and pull the website for the data. Go read the events, and then it can display it in iOS or Android. The big question is there a mechanism in Planet App that if an app calls a URL, that it can do basically receive, I don't know, XML or JSON, and that's it. Instead of, everything I've ever done with Planet App is I put an action form or an action grid on a DNN web page. So there's always a user interface to it. What I'm looking for is an application interface, basically. So I could.
Yeah, and that's actually probably one of the best ways to actually create an app that will work with Planted App is to use the APIs. So I mean, you can use the APIs and do interact with the data that's in the Planted App application through Planted App APIs.
Okay. So I need to, I've never used the API section. And so I thought that the API was to establish an interface to somebody else, but the API actually is for somebody else to establish an interface to me, my website with Planet App on it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's exactly what they're for. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
I will dig
you'll
into
see
that.
you'll see us, on a pretty regular basis. We'll do things with Plantain App APIs where we're using the API within the application itself, but that's just one use of it, and it's pretty handy for doing interactive things on the front end because you can call the API within JavaScript, and so you get data back that you can then use and update your front end. So that's very useful for that. But that's just one use. The APIs that are created automatically by the entity builder and the APIs that you can create yourself by going there. I'd say the more powerful possibility there is that other applications can interact with your application, can get data from it and send data to it.
Fantastic. That's what I'm looking for. So, and I assume that there are some tutorials out there about how to create your first API and things like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's lots of content on YouTube that we've done that would talks about the use of APIs. Yep.
Fantastic. I will head there. Thanks.
Yep. Anybody else have any other thoughts to add to that?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to do something somewhat similar. The problem is for me, it's not even about the API, which would be amazing because then it's interactive, but we're trying to do something that has offline content. So that's kind of my challenge. Is it would be awesome to be able to create something that can look at some text that's in some modules and display it or whatever. I mean, because it's just content that we're trying to do. We're not really trying to do anything fancy, but just one less thing to try to maintain. I have to copy paste anytime there's new changes in some of our documentation. So I don't know anything about apps, but I think the offline content piece is kind of a challenge for me.
Yeah, and I think that there seems like there would be a way that you could schedule updates to it so that the app gets updated with the offline content, and then you send an update to the people who have the app, or indicate that an update's available that they can run, and then they would have the data there when they're offline. I would think something like that might be a possibility.
But just indicate to them if they're signed in or if they have an internet connection, I guess. I mean, I don't know. There's just so much there. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But you're saying like have them manually update it.
Well, yeah. So an app, like any app that's on your device, you know that you you either allow updates to happen automatically, or you get, sometimes you get a notification that an update's available. So if the content changed, so the app would have all the content, when they install it. But then if the content changes, then you would do a new version of the app with the new content. I think that makes sense. Once again, I'm certainly not an expert in this area. Anybody else have any other thoughts? And any other first call items? Okay. Well, I did want to touch base real quick on something that we talked about 2 campfires ago. We were talking about I think I forget. It might have been Don. I can't remember exactly. But we were talking about the possibility of creating auto login links for a list of users, and we had some back and forth on how to do that in a workflow. And one of the things that we were trying to do was create a new list. That was before we discovered that we could actually update lists. So within that same call, as those of you who were there will recall, we discovered we could update lists and add properties to them, and so we ended up doing that. But before we got to that, we were trying to create a new list, and we did it by running a SQL action. And I just recently discovered that we didn't have to do that, and I just wanted to share that with everybody because I think it's pretty useful. So let's see if I can get to the right spot here. Okay, so this was something that I was totally not related to what I'm talking about, but it's where I discovered it. So I thought I would just use this as an example. This workflow actually might, some people might find some of the things that are happening in this workflow pretty useful. So if anybody's interested, I'll go into more details here, but I really wanted to go to this point right here. So this is just a regular create list from JSON action that's taking the context from the first action and taking the result from the first action and putting it into a list. And in here, did I time out while we were waiting to get started? Let's see if this loads. I may have to refresh the page. While I'm waiting for that to refresh, can anybody confirm for me they remember the context of what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. It was my question
regarding
regarding making the login links.
Right.
And
okay.
I think what you ended up discovering was that you could update the list with a token in kind of real time on each iteration, as opposed to simply extending the field and so on.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It was me.
Yep, cool. And so before we got to that final solution, we were actually trying to create a new list. And what I discovered was that once again, I think it's a problem with the name of the action. As Ben pointed out about the action that we ended up using, it should be named to indicate that it has that possibility as well. But this action right here, the add list entry action, you can both create a list and add entries to a list with this action. So you can see that in my notes here, I said it creates field titles list on first run and then adds records on subsequent runs. So the first run actually creates this list, which does not exist within the context yet. There's no list name called field titles, but all I have to do here is establish this title as a list name. and tell it what I want the properties to be, and then the list is created. And so on subsequent runs of this for each action here, it will then see that the field titles list already exists and add a record to the list. So when I discovered this, I feel like that it's something that maybe I did do in the past and that I just forgot it was there. So I think that we could use an update to this action name here. But anybody else know this already, or is anybody saying, "Oh, hey, this is cool. This will help me in the future"?
Oh, hey, this is cool.
Ditto.
So yeah, go ahead, Matt.
You're creating this list name field titles, then you're adding, when you say list property value, you're establishing essentially empty records, if you would, in that.
Well, in this case, I am I'm creating a record. So I have but so the list didn't exist already, but I'm creating the list with a single record that has now we have a title column and a name column and the values for the first record. So that's what's happening in this particular instance here. So this creates the list, and on the first run of this for each action, and then on subsequent runs, it will add a record to the now existing field titles list.
So is this whole thing, I didn't see it, but is this whole thing wrapped in basically a for each?
Yes. Yep. So here's my for each right here. Yep. And then, of course, to recap what we talked about before, we have the extend list properties action, which then we could then take the field titles list and then we could add a property to it. So we could, so we could take, so now I could add another property in addition to title and name with the extend list properties action is what we discovered before.
Mm-hmm. I think for other folks, and myself as well, but having something, a demo of this kind of step-by-step on Campfire in the apps would be really cool, because I think there's probably even more things under the hood here that can be done as well. Like you've got the add list entry, extend list properties, and a couple of others that are obscure, shall we say, in terms of what you can do with them.
Yep, absolutely. Agree that that it would be and I think that Dale has done some stuff where this is covered in quite a bit of detail, but maybe a refresher of that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, any other questions or comments about this? Cool. Okay. Well, that was one thing I wanted to share. Let's go back over here. And well, actually, real quick, I just wanted to just explain what this does, because it might come in useful. This is kind of a one-time thing, and I don't know, of how much use anybody thinks this particular scenario is. But just to explain what it's doing, you're probably aware that we have there's a folder that contains the config files for fields within the forms module, and that if you look at at the field where the fields are stored in the database, you will see that there is a let me just run this, and then you can get a better idea of exactly what I'm talking about. So I'll just save and test it here. Hopefully I didn't make any changes. Saving testing always makes me, I usually actually go back, but so if I run this, did it run? No, there we go. Now it's running. I get this JSON here. Let me make it look nice so we can take a little gander at it. Having trouble getting to it here. There we go. Okay. So in the database, this is the how the field type is stored. But the friendly name that you see on the front end actually comes from the config file, and that's this is what you see on the front end when you choose a field. So there was a scenario where somebody wanted to get to these easily. So what this does is this execute razor action here just gets all the files. So we know what files we're looking at. So there's several configuration files there. There's a default one that has many of the fields in it, and then additional separate config files for other fields. And we need to get all of them. So this is just putting the lists into putting the files into a list. This particular action here, and then we're putting that list into a JSON, and then we are getting for each of the files, we're getting the content of the file, and that is JSON. Oops, I didn't mean to click that far off. And so that's JSON. So we create a list from that, and then this is where we get to the point where we're adding so we take for each item in the list of field configurations that's in that particular file, we're adding to our list here just the title property and the name property, and then putting that out. So we're putting it out into JSON, but you could also save it somewhere. So I don't know if anybody's done that particular set of actions in that way, but I just wanted to share that with you real quick too. It's just an additional thing. Anybody have thoughts or questions about that? Cool. All right. So now let me go back to our presentation here. And so Matt wanted to know a little bit more about utilizing the Trumbowyg editor. And I didn't get Matt a chance to really go through in detail for your questions here. So I might ask you for a little bit of further detail on what you're asking for as far as default, what we support as default, and implementing support of HTML tables. Are you saying that you can't put an HTML table in there, or?
Sorry, my thing wouldn't come off mute. No, in the editor setup, you can show, you can include or exclude different things like images and so on. However, and one of the things that if you look, I think at either the button groups or the button drop downs, you'll see a drop down for table. Well,
actually, I was going to go here first and just
okay,
take a look at it.
Yep.
Okay, let me try that again. There we go. So in here somewhere, you're saying that
no. Well,
no, okay. Oh,
okay. Ultimately, it will show up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
so the question is, and yeah. No, the Trumbowyg editor itself. I don't know what you're.
Oh, I opened the wrong thing. I didn't open the form.
Okay.
Yep. go.
Okay, so either in, and I'm not sure, maybe both, but try the button drop downs down low. Add a new parameter.
Oh, okay.
And then you should see, I think you'll see tables in there somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that okay, I see now. I think there's a problem here. So well, let's see what happens here. And so this would actually create a drop down. So and then I think we'd actually have to look at the Trumbowyg documentation page for this. Yeah, go ahead. What were we going to say? Maybe you've discovered stuff already.
Well, yes, I have, but it hasn't been useful.
Okay.
I put in the chat the what I perceive to be the Trumbowyg settings for a table for the buttons. You have the table cell background color, table border cell. There may be more, but those are the ones that I kind of tripped over. And first of all, I was just trying to see if I can get it to show up as a button. And it was not.
Yeah, and I think that's the these are one. This is one property: table cell background color and table border color. Yeah. So I think what we've discovered, and I'm trying to remember now. So let's go and let's look at what. Let me save this and let's look at what we have so far. So justify and emphasis. Okay. Okay, so
yeah, I did not see it show up at all either. So it raised the question in my mind: is there's this in the Trumbowyg documentation? There's a separate, essentially, add-on for table support. So the first question is that something that's already been that Plantain app has incorporated, or is that something that if I really wanted to do this, I'd have to include it myself?
Not sure about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will find out for sure. But so here's the documentation, and
scroll down on the keep going, down. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is that it? No. Maybe is there something just to list the available plugins? Let me see if I can find it for you.
I just posted it for you.
Yep. This is the same page. No, it's not. Okay. So actually, I think probably yeah, I think probably this seems pretty straightforward here. If we just pull in these the style sheet and the script into the form itself, I'm willing to give it a go here if we want to. Unless somebody wants to move on to anything else, we will play with this. We just pull down.
Right, everybody else be quiet, please. Patrick's working.
That's funny. Okay, so first we want to get the style sheet and the script in place, and then it looks like we need to add
That would be your buttons configuration. It looks like right there. We added on the table
yeah,
drop down.
Yep.
Yep.
So we will see. Okay, so then let's first just take these. Actually, we're just going to, let me go. I'll just copy the whole thing and then here and we want to use the load static files. And this does not really matter, that ID there. I think we've had this discussion on Campfire before. That's it's there and it's not of any use. So there's the script.
That most likely won't work.
Oh,
because
right. I don't have the. Yep.
Those files
Yeah.
don't exist on your system. You
Right.
need to
Yes.
find a
Exactly. I
CDN.
thought. Yeah. For some reason, I thought that he was giving me a CDN. I didn't realize it until I deleted everything else. I didn't have that. Huh. Okay.
Here's
there
the
must-
CDN I'm putting
Did
it
you
in
find it?
for you.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks.
That's the last version that they offer, 2.273. I don't know if that's the version that you're running, but you could switch the version, obviously.
Yep. Okay. Did you find the CSS also?
It should all be there.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's the entire
Okay.
list. You just
Okay.
pick what you need.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, we got to go here and get everything. Okay. So I am not sure what version we're running, and does this tell us what were we gonna say?
I would say go to fields
Yeah.
and then look at that, and I don't know if it would say it there. It
I
doesn't
haven't
look like
seen
it does.
anything. Yeah.
No.
No, what
Well,
I
I'll
was gonna
try
say
it.
was a quick way to find it is when you're on that page for the CDN, just do a find for table. And then it jumps you like almost towards the end, and you'll see the links. There's one for CSS and one for JS.
Okay.
You might be able to just hit the button, right, on the right.
Oh, yeah. Back to events. And
Scroll down. Keep going.
oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Save that. And then let's look at the, nope, at the field. And so now,
Yep. On
go
that
ahead.
field, you might need to add the table word first. You see the table, those three parameters. You don't have the word table in there as the first parameter in your form.
Right. Yep. So you're saying here first, right? But I don't,
No, down, see in the table, the word table. Now, I don't know how necessary this is. Your button drop down is table. the button name is table, and then the third column is you only have two choices: table cell background color, table border color. The first choice on their list is the word table itself.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let me try this. I'm not.
Yeah, okay.
I remember that one of these things was not working, and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, let's. So we're saying that that maybe we only need. Well, we still need that. Yes. So let me go ahead. But we're not putting the JSON around it. We're just doing space separated. So you just go ahead and.
I don't think the table would be necessary because I think these are the options that you want from table.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
table
Okay.
would give you the ability most likely to create a table.
We'll try it without first then. Yep. Okay, but we didn't even when we did this, we didn't even get a table button though. That's what I'm.
But would that be because you hadn't imported from the CDN yet?
Maybe. Yep. Okay, let's save this, reload. And just in case, I'm going to keep the console over on another screen here so I can see what's happening.
Doesn't look happy.
No. We're not getting it. And not getting any errors. So, let's see, did I get, nope. But let me try one more thing here. Are we getting the button group lists?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, so I think that maybe it was this part that wasn't working. I'm gonna try. Okay, that didn't work well. There we go. Actually, we're not getting the horizontal rule. So neither one of those is showing up. And I'm not getting any JavaScript errors, so clearly there's something missing here that I might have to look into more, unless anybody else sees any other ideas to try. I'm willing to. Always a good idea, Jim. Jim is suggesting that we clear the cache. That's not a bad idea. Should not require that, but certainly can try it. It's gonna go all out. Just restart the whole thing. There we go. Okay, we still do not have anything here that has to do with lists or tables. We are getting this though, right? We have a justify. We have this exists.
Yes, you do. You have the bold.
Yep, and we have the bold. Yep, and maybe bold, italic, underline, and straight through. So that's called emphasis. And so then what I'm going to do is,
Okay, I have another implementation. I've got this Trumbowyg all over the place, and I've successfully gotten the ordered and unordered lists working. So let me check that setup, and I can at least give you that.
okay, we got somewhere, but we don't have the items in the dropdown. So
what did you do?
I added
the
I added the name of the button that I added. So I think that's what what we had discovered before was that the lists the button groups option does not seem to put anything into the this does not seem to work correctly, but the button drop downs does. And so I was able to do a button drop down, but I'm not getting my two buttons here.
So is what you're saying you had to do both the button group and the button drop down to get that far?
So I have to add the button drop down settings here, and then actually take this value that I call the button name, and I just followed what was done for emphasis. So the button name is emphasis, and then we have a button called justify somewhere, right? Yeah, there it is, justify. So I took and I just added the word table here, and so that gets me the table button, but I'm not getting my drop down buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go back here and just look one more time. So might be that it's not actually seeing the plugin because of this right here. So there might be something additional we have to do. Do we have any other inputs here? Nope.
So Patrick, if you want, so you have, in order to get the list to show up, what I did was you have under the button group lists unordered and then ordered, which is correct. Then down low, the new parameter would be, the way I have it set up is the new parameter icon is, oh, you've got a justify center, justify, yeah. Why is that? That's exactly how my setup is, and it's not working for you.
This one, the justify.
Wait a minute. Yeah, hold on.
That one
I'm
works.
sorry. My apologies. The new parameter is ordered dash list. The button name is lists, and then the choices are ordered list and unordered list.
So this one here.
Yep.
And the button name is lists, you said?
Yep. And then I just put the two button parameters in text in the chat.
And you added lists to the button list, right?
In the button groups, I have lists as well.
Yep.
Yep. So, okay.
But you added it appears here too, right? So you didn't
Let me just, yes, yeah, right. I put it right after horizontal rule. So yes.
Yep.
So you have button group lists. I just have the uppercase lists. There you go. You got it right beside table.
Yep. So that's working, obviously, better than having it the other setup. But what we still don't have for here is the, and I think this is probably because the plugin is either the wrong version or we need to specify that the plugin, tell it to recognize the plugin somewhere. But I'm not quite sure how to do that because I'm not sure where to put this here. But this is actually just for plugin options. So yeah. Anyway, well, I will look into this more.
Cool.
Later. So anybody else have any thoughts on it? Ben, you have any thoughts on it? Ben went off mute for a second, but
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me now.
yep, we can. Yep.
My headset battery died, so I'm switching to my monitor.
Oh yeah, got it.
So I may sound different. No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll look into it more, and hopefully we will have a follow up on this next week. So, an update here. We still haven't released, and there ended up being a couple more things that we got into this week. So, and also Dale's out, and it's still some other staffing type stuff going on. So we just decided to move until next week. So that's the plan right now. So I wanted to give everybody an update on that. I didn't get a chance to look at feature requests, so let's see if there's any new ones there. Anybody have any that they they know is new and they want to highlight?
Oh, can I bounce back to the Trumbowyg thing?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Yep, no problem.
I just actually I'm on version Planted App 125, so I don't know what version you're running or
Yeah, I'm on 126 here, so but yeah, who knows?
well, I just open up the min.js file and it says it's Trumbowyg version 2.23.
Oh, okay. So maybe if we try, you're suggesting trying a different version here then.
Yeah, so if you scroll to the top, change the version. At least, like I said, in version 125, you guys are using version 2.23.
2.23, this one here. Okay. Then so this one here. This one here. But I actually should also.
You could probably just change the version number.
Yeah, I probably could. But I was wondering also if I should maybe put this in the on-page load.
Actually, yeah, I've used CodeMirror in the past, and the loading of the static files do need to be on page load.
Yeah, that was an oversight of mine from earlier too. But I think that having the correct versions is going to be better too. But didn't help that though. So once again I'll look into it more. But yeah, thanks for checking that out, Ben. Okay. Well, we're still at the suggestion that Ben made for renaming the extend list properties. And I tell you what, oh, I'm not logged in. What are you talking about? I can't believe I'm not logged in here. But anyway, I will also add here that we should rename probably the add list entry action as well to create/add list properties, something along those lines. Or if Ben, you want to update it with something like that, that's great too. Okay, and then so we probably don't have a lot of time to look at the playbook. Well, we do, but first, before we go on to that, I will just ask: is there anything else that anybody else wants to talk about? All right. So let's take a look. I think I have these open already, hopefully. Okay. I don't remember if we talked about this one before. I checked and I don't think we did. But this is just a suggestion so far. It hasn't been expanded into an actual playbook. But I wanted to bring it to you guys and see if you guys had any thoughts to add to this. Basically, we're just saying when you're in entities and you're creating the name of the entity and the plural name and property names, that instead of as coders, you tend to want to take spaces out, but that's not necessary. And in fact, we should not take spaces out because the entity generator will do it for you in the right places, but in other places it will keep the spaces, which makes for a better UI. And and that's the names of pages and the in the listings and the forms, you'll get your correct interface. So anybody have any thoughts to add to that? Probably not. I don't think it's very controversial. And Matt says, I think it's a great idea. Don't you agree? All one word. Okay. And then the other one I wanted to look at, let's see, did I get the link put in here correctly? Hopefully I did, but it sure is taking a long time to load. Oh, I got logged out, that's why. Didn't work. There we go. Wow, this site must have, there we go. Okay. That did not go where I intended it to go, but, oh, we actually talked about that one already. Oh, so I had I had another one that was my idea, but I didn't get it into the presentation. So anyway, I have necessarily enough time to really go through another one anyway, but I will put it up for a final call. Does anybody else have anything they want to chat about before we adjourn for the day? Great, then I think I will go ahead and call it here. So thank you very much for everybody participating and helping me along here. And I hope that we all got something valuable out of today, and happy low coding. Stick around if you can for the afterglow. Thank you.